Hey, good morning everyone. I slept great last night after doing the roof. It's going to be gloomy today, it's supposed to rain a little bit. So I'm going to work a little bit inside today. So I'll work on the stairs, get this wall built, maybe get those joists cut off if I can, and do some cleanup. Give a sweep in the cabin here. If you guys ever have a chance to grab one of these torch style propane used for soldering, I would highly recommend them. They're really good for starting fires. Alright, so there's all the wood I want to burn and the garbage and crap laying around I gotta pick up. Let's fire this thing up here and get her burning. Alright guys, I'm gonna let this get lit and put a couple more sticks on it and get started inside. Just a little fire. I guess the first thing I gotta do is put some backer for the stud of this wall to be able to connect to, and then have it overhang a bit so I have something in this corner for my finish material to attach to. So I got this piece in here already. I'll put another one next to it with a little gap. Ooh, hear the water vapor exploding out of the rocks underneath the fire outside. Holy smoke. I'll have to keep checking that in case some sparks bounce in the bush. I don't know what the heck is coming out of that tube, but is that ever weird? I've never seen smoke go down. So that dirty smoke coming out of this tube, if I just hold it up like this and let the flame start coming up it, look at how dark that gets. Must be just the humidity in the tube. Ooh, that's getting warm. It's like a chimney. Got its own draw. I think that'll do it. Oh, I need my lighter hammer today. So, guys, when I first got my trailer, I looked around for a trailer broom. First off, I bought a bench broom, and then, you know, like one of those, I'll put a picture up of it. And it worked okay, but I was always bending over. So I wanted another broom that was compact. And so I decided to just spend the money. I don't know, this was probably 40 bucks. It's fiberglass. Anyway, it's a painter's roller pole, but extends for a 6'3" guy. So kind of a cool tool segment, I guess you could say, if you want to coin a phrase. Okay, so there's bottom plate, top plate 1 and top plate 2, and that'll be my, should give me the height of the stud to the bottom of that rafter. So this was the stud that I was going to have as the last piece of my floor, and this is the rest of that's going to be open up to this wall, which I'll build to here. So I've left these bottom 2 stair treads longer than the rest by about 1.5 inches. So I need to mark them out on that second tread to find out where I need to cut it off. Oh yeah, baby, we're in business. Underneath this post, which is going to carry the double, I don't have a floor joist. I'm going to be in between floor joists where that lands, so I'm going to mark it and put some screws through, and then I'll put blocking underneath it. So guys, there's the blocking underneath. There's that screw on that side, and that screw on that side. And there's my mud sill, just for the heck of it. I wonder how far away from that I am. So I don't think that meets code. I think it's 26 inches, or maybe it's even 24. Anyway. I think I might just have a nap underneath here for now. So, see you guys in 15. I gotta see, guys. This slower pace sure is nice. All the stress of having the roof covered in was driving me a little bit. I think I overdid it a little bit. I'm just exhausted. Put a couple screws in that blocking to just help lock everything down. Okay, so time to get into build a wall. I'll get some measurements here and get some wood cut up, and I'm going to build the wall, and then I'll stand it up over here away from the stairs. I'll get my, well, maybe not that far, but close. I'll get my Sawzall and I'll cut off these joists. That'll hold this, and then I can just drift it over. Okay, so I got the wall framed. Just barely fits in here. See if I can get it stood up. All right. Okay, so that's good. I am actually in the middle a little high, and that would likely be because of the crown. I leveled, took that measurement of with the level to the left of center of the building, which is where the blocking is, which I don't know if you can see, but and I was a little high, and the crown of the wood would accommodate for, it would be the highest in the middle. So that's good. It should settle down onto that wall and then be pretty damn close to level. Put on my glasses of safeness since I'm cutting above my head. So this one stays, that one and that one cut. Okay. Sweet. Okay, not too shabby. Man, it's nice not to have to duck to go up those stairs now. Okay. That looks okay. All right, guys, that completes that. So I'm going to start figuring out the stringers for the run up to the top. Ready to start building the stair stringers. I guarantee you I'm going to screw this up because it's not easy. But with a little patience and maybe a couple tries, anybody can do it. Some rules for stair stringers. The depth of the wood that is left has to be 3.5 inches. And the minimum width of the total of the wood can't be less than 9.25. So I'm using a 2x10, which is 9.25. I've got some wane missing on this edge. So this will be the edge that I use for my rise and runs, because I want the back of the wood to be complete. The part of the wood that's going to be actually carrying the weight. Because I got this on here, I'm going to, on this side, I want to be able to see all of my lines. So I'm going to flip this board over. So now I have a full chunk of wood to deal with. So the first thing you got to do is, if you're not using a piece of stringer that is the full distance, if you're going to have missing points, which is what I'm going to have, I did on these stairs. I'll take a close-up of it and show it to you and put it in here now. As long as their width is 9.25, you can be missing that last little point, and that's okay. So the first thing I got to do is measure 3.5 inches to make sure that I have 3.5 inches of the bottom of the stair stringer. So I usually start from the bottom. My runs were 7 7/8. No, 9 inches, sorry. My runs were 9 inches and my rises were 7 7/8. Okay, well, I'll get myself organized. I'll do the first one so that I make them all right, and then I'll come back and try to explain it. Okay, so I think I got it figured out. So my rise is 7 7/8. So you hold your square on your 3.5 inch line at 7 7/8. And then you place the other edge that you're using, the same edge, because these numbers will be different. So the inside edge is what I'm using. I'm at 7 7/8, and then I put the other side at the intersecting line of 3.5 inches at 9. Here's my first step. Here's my second step. On the face of this step up, I'm going to put a 3/4 inch, kick protector so that you can't see through the stairs. And then that's where I'm going to start my 2x8 tread, or 2x10 tread, 9 1/4. So if I take 9 1/4 from here, that 3/4 inch backer, and it leaves me a nose of like an inch and an eighth. An inch and an eighth less 1, 2, 3/4 is 3/8. 3/8 of an inch, I think, is the minimum that you can have for a nose. On the tread part of the stair where you're going to step, I personally am using 1.5 inch material. So imagine this is my step in that section there. If I take my square and hold it with the tip at the intersection between the 3.5 inch line and my first riser, and square it even with the line I drew, this line and this line will be parallel. I'll bring this line a little bit further. I'm just going to try to show you guys what you need to do to your bottom. If I put another tread on this step, this is 1.5 inches, by the way, so there's another tread, and I measure between these two lines, and that gives me 7 7/8. With these two bottoms or treads at 1.5 inches, I still get my 7 7/8 that I made here. But on the very first part of the bottom of the stringer, I don't have another tread that I'm going to be walking down onto. I'm going to be walking onto the floor. So you need to cut the bottom of your first tread in the stringer 1.5 inches less. This is my cut line here. So this will be the bottom of the stringer that sits on the floor. And then after I add the tread of 1.5 inches, I will be 7 7/8. I'm holding it. You can imagine little Johnny comes home from school and he steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the 7th step is going to be up onto the landing. So at the point where your top step intersects the 3.5 inch line is where your stair landing is going to be. So now I hold my square on the tread of the top step of the stringer, and where it intersects with the 3.5 inch line, I make a line down this way. And this right here is where this is going to rest up against the landing above. At 7 7/8, I used 2x10s on my second floor. A 2x10 is 9 1/4 plus the 3/4 inch flooring. So by the time my stairs come up to land on the second floor, I'm only going to have like 1.25 inches of stringer sitting on the lip of the landing above, and that's no good. What I've done is I've planned already to put a 2x12 here, which will give me 7 7/8, and a 2x12 is 11 1/4. So that'll give me more to land on. So if you guys want to build your own set of stair stringers, here's the tools you'll need. You need a saw. I can do the bulk of the cutting for you. You need a hand saw to finish in the seats of the treads and risers. You need a framing square, pencil, measuring tape, and a straight edge. And that should give you what you need to be able to successfully make yourself a set of stairs. We'll see how successful I'm going to be. So when you're cutting these with the saw, all you do is you cut up to your line where you're 3.5 inches. You don't want to go past that and degrade the quality of the wood of this required 3.5 inches. This is what's going to carry your weight and give the stairs their strength. And there you have it, one stair stringer. And that's how you do it. Easy as pie for the second and third ones. First one's always a pain. And then, so nice sharp pencil, and then these lines. The other lines I cut up to the line. These lines I'll cut off the line. And then they should all match. Gotta be careful with your stringer that you don't lean it or set it somewhere where it's gonna fall over, because this section here is really easy to break off because it usually goes in line with the grain of the wood. So till you get your stairs finished, it's a good idea to put it somewhere you know it's not going to fall over. I'm just more sure that this level is straight. And there we go, everybody. One full set of stairs. Or as my neighbor likes to call it, my IKEA house. Some assembly required. That's the end of this video. Assembling the stairs. Thanks for watching. And please like and subscribe. I hope you're enjoying the videos. If there's anything I can change to make them better, please comment. Let me know. That'll be great. Any input is welcome, and I'll happily make any adjustments that I can to keep you guys smiling. All right. Have yourselves a great week, and we'll see you on the next video.